A few strange boxes I had found over the many weeks of doing chores and exploring the world around me had not really been that impressive. My father once told me I would have to make my own luck in this world. How very true that statement felt, having taken a chance that they would hold riches only to find nothing. Turning my attention back to what I could achieve with my own two hands, I crafted the beacon from the star, but by itself this was not enough. I would have a lot of mining to do. Many blocks of iron and gold would be needed to make the beacon work. I sweated in the mine for days, and then I found a quiet place to rest a while. Yes, that is a quarry. And yes, this is Certis quartz, charged. And, well, this is Nemsun, on the Diamond Gear server. The Utopia Diamond Gear mod pack is basically everything that the Age of Adventure is not. It is not adventurous, although I've just been pearl diving, which is quite cool. It's not adventurous, it's pure tech. So this quarry is very slowly using the power of the sun to operate, and slowly but surely filling up. Lewis set this up the other day. I'm pretty sure that it would be better off with lava power, Lewis, but, well, it's slowly but surely working its way through cutting up the ocean floor. This little thing over here is a Little Helper's Fisher, which is available in the Age of Adventure as well, but I haven't used it yet. And look at the tech. Extra utilities, also available in the Age of Adventure. But here on the Diamond Gear, I've got it all automated and set up, which is more in keeping with what this is all about. Let's take that, and take that, and yeah, leave that. This over here is the beautiful house that I've set up so far. Using Schematica, taking a schematic of a nice modern build. I've given myself a chance to make it. It was all made out of quartz though, and I've made it out of marble, so it's not exactly as easy as just letting the printer do itself and Schematica. Like in Season 2 on Utopia, Schematica was an awesome mod for us. I loved it all to bits. Right, well, this inside the house is going to be like the factory, the main part of the factory. We've got a little downstairs and a little cool bit. It all looks very nice and modern and all that. Lewis has been playing with Refined Relocation. Go and check out his episodes for that. He's also been starting on the Ender.io, which is awesome, so start checking that out. Gannis Surface Dual Work Table. I haven't looked at that yet, but Lewis uses it all the time in both places now. I was doing a lot of cutting up slabs and pillars to do a bit of forge microblocking around here because I wanted a modern feel. And I recently moved the Tinker's Construct stuff from outside inside to make like a little, well, I guess it's like the boiler room. I suppose it's supposed to look a bit like a boiler room off the back door. You come in off the back door and there's the boiler room, big sturdy thing like that. I recently today just automated it all with extra utilities transfer node. So transfer node from the chest there down and into the smeltery controller to fill that up so it auto smelts. Lava, I've got a lava tank down there which is constantly being pumped up into the seared tank to keep it full of lava, and I've got the output going down there and into the Refined Relocation chest. So this is on a timer. Lewis put it on a timer when we first got it and put hoppers and stuff on it. Now I've put extra utilities involved when I moved it over here to pretty much automate it all a bit more efficiently than hoppers can, because I can move things up and down. So I don't have a hopper on top of the chest or a hopper on top of this smeltery. We just got a chest next door. And the timer basically will just keep ticking that to tell it to pour an ingot, and when an ingot's poured it'll get sucked out by the transfer node. The transfer node will bring it from underneath and bring it up the floor here into this sorting relocation chest. As you can see, I recently did some copper just to test it was all working properly. Put the copper ore in there. But I'm more concerned with how it looks. I've been messing about with building and this sort of like archway here, a little overgrown plant life archway. I need to put something in that cubbyhole there and maybe in the window there and stuff. Just making the place look like a home even though it's got all the stuff in. In other series I've been like, let's make things in a factory be seen like it's in a factory, but this is supposed to be a modern home, so I'm trying to make things as concealed as possible. So while Lewis sets all the things up and gets things going, like he set the smeltery up out here in one of his episodes as well, or maybe before his episode, something like that. I can't remember, I've been on here a few days without actually recording. We had the smeltery set up out here for all our basic ores to start us off. Lewis set it all up, and now I've moved it into the house to make the house look good. This is looking pretty cool though. It's taken a long time to build, but Schematica really helps to get it all the blocks in the right places and give me the design and the shape and the size and everything. And then I just put all the little details in afterwards. Pretty cool. This fireplace, for instance, it's a very modern looking fireplace. I don't know about actually setting fire to anything in there yet because the floor currently is just old wooden planks. And if we have a look, if I get my axe out, well, speak of the devil and he is sure to appear. Yeah, if we take the look down here, you'll see that there is literally a big open space here, and below this as well, let's pick here, a quarry hole. And that block is gone forever now, isn't it? I also moved the library around a bit. Had a bit of a change around. We did have like a little enchantment table out there, and I've moved most of it, well, pretty much all of it, up into the upstairs area, the library. And the library is, well, just off the main area like this. Nice and fancy upstairs gallery area, and the library I've put in over here, so that looks pretty cool. And all these bookcases, I didn't know for sure that chiseled bookcases, you put a bookcase in the chisel and you can change it to give it a different sort of look about it. I didn't know for sure that it worked with the enchantment table, but it does. Who's opening and closing chests? I guess it's Lewis downstairs. Right, so I want to enchant myself a steel shovel. Now, I picked up an enchantment on this thing the other day. Efficiency Unbreaking Fortune 3. Now, you might think that that's a brilliant enchantment. Efficiency Unbreaking is perfect. The Fortune 3, though, it sucks. If you look out here, look at all this gravel. Right? Not a single piece of gravel actually has gravel when it drops. It's all flint. Fortune 3 turns all of this to flint. We've got far too much flint. So I want a shovel that hasn't got fortune on it. So I thought I'd give a chance with this steel shovel. I think Lewis has found it in a chest somewhere. Oh, a fish! Give me a break. Do me a favour. I guess that's as good a place as any. I've put all the basics of Mistcraft in here as well. The inked well, the book binder and the desk, but we haven't been doing anything Mistcraft yet, and there's loads of places to store stuff. So we can store ages in there, we can put an age on there on display, age on there. There's a couple of book stands for ages. There's a written desk over here, and there's a writing desk over there. It's all just blending in and mixing in, and throw a few shelves in just to make the place look a bit fancy, like a nice little posh library room. Previously, on the Age of Adventure, I have focused my attention to druidic ways, to doing things like a druid would. Okay, so on here, I'm also going to do the same thing, at least for this part of the season. On both servers, I'm going to focus on a Druid's Tale. So over here, I've made myself a little Druid's domain. I saw this little bowled out area when we first moved over here. And let me just tell you that little story, actually. When we first moved over here from spawn. Okay, spawn is all the way down here, right? Spawn is pretty much here. There's an AE2, Applied Energistics 2 meteorite just right at spawn, sort of marking spawn. And for miles around, it's Mesa at spawn. So that first night was very difficult to find the outside edge of the Mesa to go and find stuff to eat and sleep. I think that's Nicholas's base. I'm guessing that must be Nicholas's base up there because I had to teleport to him to help him out as my admin skills. But anyway, the survival side of things, that you'll see things like that every now and again because I'm an admin of the server. If he's got something stuck that needs creative mode to break, or some recipe doesn't work that I have to spawn in an item for him, it's all the same. But for the fun side of it, I like to do things in survival. And me and Lewis, the very first night of setting it up, jumped into survival mode and ran all the way around, exploring all the way out here. And we came out here together and we circled this island, having a look to see if that island was where we wanted to live. We followed the coastline up and around into this bay and up around the coast. And eventually we came back to this area here where we've now settled. Yeah, I got a couple of markings there. But this bay was one thing that I spotted out. This little area here. I haven't really done any changes to the terrain apart from putting the stairwell up it like that. And if we go head on down, it's just nice and simple to run up and down here. There's no running and jumping all over the place. I like. Down here, you may be able to notice, because of all the flowers and beehives, that we have bees. They're running all the way through that area. All the way through. The first bit of wool I got a scoop, because I'm planning on doing bees, trees and butterflies, everything forestry, possibly a bit of mariculture as well over here because of the automation I can use to automate mariculture. A bit easier than doing it on the Age of Adventure. It's a similar sort of mod. If forestry is for the land, what mariculture is for the sea. And that's a pretty big statement because mariculture's pretty new in comparison to the god of Sengia, who is making forestry since the first mods ever came out. And forestry is just awesome. Forestry is awesome. It may feel overused, but I've not really played with it from the beginning stages. Let me just go and sleep. Just because Lewis might not be. Let me go and sleep. Because we've got Morpheus on here, so it only takes one of us to actually sleep. And there we go. It only takes 50% of people to make it day. Which is when me and Lewis are the only ones on at the minute. It means 50% of us. I have to sleep in the bed and that's it. We're ready. Right, Diamond Gear side of things. I want to carry on with the Druids Tale on the Age of Adventure as the primary server that I'm playing on. And I'm just going to play on here and do a bits and pieces with forestry and all that in the side. So every now and again, I'll slide an episode into Druids Tale. And I'll slide it into the Druids Tale. So it might just be a clip of something that might happen in the series. So the series will be based across both servers. But this is going to be like my my little retreat. We'll call it another dimension in the story. I head to this other dimension where there's bees and trees and butterfly breeding and all that, and the fish and mariculture and all that. Or we'll just say that it's another part of the Age of Adventure world, even though I only wear bronze boots with projectile protection 2 here, because there's no mobs to worry about. There's no real survival elements here, other than eating and sleeping and stuff. Right, so, bees-wise, what I've collected on the way here were forest princesses, forest drones, and I've just been putting them through a bee house. So you can't automate a bee house, but, well, that's it. And meadows bees as well. They're the two beehives that I picked up the most of on the way through that big forest from spawn, until we hit the coastline and took to boats and went through there. So all I've been doing is manually coming down this route like this and just literally doing what I'm doing now, clearing them out like this, and get to the basic honeycomb. And the first bit of honeycomb I got, I went and did the basic setup of other stuff that you need for forestry. And we're going to go through forestry basics, I suppose. It's been done plenty of times before. You probably know more than me. But I haven't done it before from the breeding stage, from like the very beginning. On Season 1, using the Feed the Beast Ultimate Pack, Season 1 of Utopia, a friend of mine, Bolef, was playing with bees from scratch, and he developed them up until they were at the point of serums and all the fancy genetics machines, and we basically manufactured bees from then on. And it was at that stage that I got into bees. After he'd done all the hard work of breeding them all up and doing all that stage, I got into automating everything with applied energistics. Applied energistics and bees meant just crazy amounts of resources in Season 1. In Season 2, I didn't really touch on bees. I don't think I did much with bees at all. I did more applied energistics too, and I tried to avoid bees a bit, I think. But I didn't just neglect forestry altogether. I was doing a few other bits and pieces with forestry. Forestry machines, the farms and stuff like that I did a lot with. But now in Season 3 I want to start with just focusing on the breeding. So I'm going to forget about all of the automated farms and stuff for it. There's a few other little bits and pieces I'll show you about those. But yeah, we're gonna just basically do stuff like that. Now, one of the things that has always struck me as like a problem with forestry was that the machines suck energy. So even when they're not in use, they will suck energy. So as we can see here, this has nothing to do and this has nothing to do. It did make me my beealyzer. It has nothing to do, and this has 70 lava and 0 power. If I connect this up here, it will start taking the lava out. I think these tanks automatically puts things out, but we have to give it a bit of a kickstart. The first time I used this, it was pushing stuff out straight away, and then I had to add my redstone engine afterwards. I think maybe it's just starting the flow going or something, because it doesn't stop when I turn it off. It carries on flowing. And it'll fill this all the way up, and it'll keep filling it all the way up, and it'll keep draining this tank. And this tank is draining, and this is going to be receiving power. This is going to build up some power, but now that's full at 4, and this is holding steady at 11, 12. It's pulling some more out. As you can see, it's filling up, even though it's not actually got the redstone engine on the back there. And as far as I'm concerned, that is going to start eating power and leaving me with nothing. It's going to stabilize, and there's no power going to be coming through to any of these machines, but it'll carry on eating. So let's do a quick empty out of a stack or so of these. Let's take half of those and half of those, half of those. I should probably have done this like I normally do it, which is while I'm swapping them over. I don't always do it while I'm swapping them over. Not always, but sometimes. Okay, and then back over here. And the basic here is you can get this honeycomb from the wild beehives. And then you get yourself a centrifuge made up. And you can centrifuge honeycombs. Well, you basically centrifuge all the honeycomb types that you get. This is just like the basic honeycomb. If we type comb into here, because we still can't use the NEI subsets and stuff yet, so we've got all of these different types of combs available for basic forestry. So we've got honeycomb, which is the basic, and that produces beeswax and honey. Two very important things that we need for, well, many uses. So the naturally spawning hives that you'll find have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kinds of bee. And those 6 kinds of bee can be bred to make every other kind of bee. So we've got forest hives, which make forest, which you'll find forest princesses and forest drones in the forest hives. It's a random like chest, a loot chest, and chances are you'll find a princess and some drones in every single one of these hives. The chances are good. You've got the meadows hive, which is the red one, and that's the two that I've mostly been encountering so far on the Utopia Diamond gear. There's then the modest hive, the tropical hive, the wintry hive, and the marshy hive. One other bee that I haven't started doing yet. A Valiant. I think that's just a one that you can get as a random chance, like a rare. A Valiant drone and nothing else special. And a Marshy. I got a Marshy Queen. Well, I got a Princess and a drone, but it's Marshy. Right? So, anyway, to check them out, you need to make yourself a Beealyzer. And a Beealyzer... A Beealyzer is made like this in a carpenter. You put all these materials in the bottom of the carpenter and give it some power and it'll make the bees. Now this has used up a whole tank of lava just to make those. I really must keep an eye on this because this eats... 16 buckets of lava have just been fed into the centrifuge that probably only needed 2 buckets of lava. But hey ho, that's the way it goes. The perfect modern gentleman's home. He's loving it. Okay, so right, Princess, Forest Princess. The Forest Princess, when you analyze it, you get a honey drop use per stack. So, for instance, this has now been analysed, so I've now got the ability to hold shift and see what that is. Whereas this stack of them will also analyse as a stack. If they stack, they're all the same, so therefore they'll analyse as a stack as well. So we can compare what this is to that. So we've got... let's look at them like this. So we've got slowest worker, slowest worker. Shorter life, shorter life. Temperature, humidity, normal, none, normal, none for both of those as well. And likes flowers in both cases. Okay, that's all you get off shouting over, which is basically these few here. Yeah. What we see here though is fertility. So that means that when this princess and drone mate, they become a queen, and then the queen will have a life cycle, and when the life cycle's over, there will be 3 offspring. So you gain drones. You'll gain a princess and some drones. Now, ignoble stock, I believe that's supposed to be that eventually they will run out. So, ignoble stock, 14 generations in captivity. So I've cycled it through 14 generations. So I've gone 14 times, I've taken it out and put it back in. It's all climate and humidity is all normal. Nocturnal, no, which means it won't work at night. Flyer, no. Cave, no. So cave means that it doesn't need, it can't sit in a cave. It has to be out in the open air where it can see the sun. Its only possibility is making honeycomb. And other such things, there are mutations that I can learn along the way. Possible mutations for things. Forest Princess and such drone will make such and such. And that's the way it works for breeding them up. So this should be the same as those, really. Let's check it out. If I put this through here, they'll do the whole stack. Looks like it's the same to me. And now if it stacks together with those, we know that they're all exactly the same kind of drone. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing with my bees mostly. Just figuring them out like this. So now we've got the queen and we've got her drones. Let's have a quick look. The queen is... shorter, slowest, flowers, only ×2 fertility, which means that I haven't been getting as many drones from this Meadows breed. 14 generations in captivity, and the same sort of things again, right? So when I come to breeding those together, that'll be when the magic start happening. The breeding comes into its own then when I've got new types. At the minute, I'm just using cheap bee houses to quickly just keep doing like this manually. You can't automate a bee house, but it's very cheap. That one's pretty much done with. And I believe they don't come back to you when you break them. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Yep, off it goes. But it's so cheap that it doesn't really matter. So let's put a few more of those in. We'll just... quickly turn a few around. I'm probably going to remove all of these hives very soon to put in automated hives. That's one of the things I wanted to test out today was see if I can automate the hives using extra utilities. Now, I know I'm going to be able to do it with applied energistics. I've done it all the time with applied energistics before. And I know Ender.io is also very, very good. Ender.io is probably better than applied energistics for sorting out the bees, as far as I can see. But I'm going to try the not the Ender IO. I'm going to try the transfer nodes, filters, and transfer pipes and things to try and get through it that way. All right. Right. So I think I'll probably put a block or two underneath it first, just so that we've got access to the underside as well as the top side. I probably don't want the top side doing, so let's put this transfer node like so. Alright, so there's going to be nothing in there. Let's take a beehive from over here and empty it out. These meadows will do nicely. Okay, they should have flowers around close enough. Good, good. Alright, put the queen in and put that in. And do they say they're happy? Do they say they're happy? Everybody happy? Looks like everybody's happy. That's good. This should start going down, and as they go down, they'll die. That's the thing. Alright, now for the next stage, I'm going to put a chest over here. And I want this transfer pipe to go down into the chest, pull things out. So at the minute it won't take anything because there's nothing in these slots to get rid of it. You also notice that these slots here for frames. Putting frames into houses is another automation trickery that I want to figure out and work on. So we're gonna item filter. Currently we've got fuzzy ignores NBT. Okay, so I think I'm going to need another one of these. I think I'm going to need another one of these transfer nodes to put stuff out of the chest and in. Yeah, let's see. Actually, let's put some of these in here. Right, and we'll take this back. And we'll stick that as a transfer node on the top of that. And give that some welly. Right, so this is already trying to take the drones. Will it put the drones into there? It looked like it did, didn't it? Yep. There we go. 3, 6, 9. So we can feed the drones back in using this method. Okay. So I just need another transfer node underneath it to try and pull them out. That should work. It's going to be a little bit more bulky than the Ender IO. I believe the Ender IO solution, you can do things within a single pipe. Well, as you can see, guys, in the age of adventure, I have been working pretty hard. There's an awful lot of blocks of iron and gold to get there if I'm going to make this huge pyramid in the center of my druidic circle. But be sure I am working hard on here. I'll be doing videos from both servers in the same series. So don't you worry, don't you worry. It's just I'm doing a lot of mining on here right now, and that's pretty boring, and I don't want to go and find other things to do. I want to get straight on with having this beacon working to a great capacity and get this area finished up with you guys very, very soon. Alright, so thank you very much for watching another episode of A Druid's Tale. I'll see you next episode. Maybe we'll do a bit more bees. Maybe we'll be doing some more over here and make some new Botania items of uber power. I don't know. We will find out. See you next time, guys. Thank you very much for watching.